This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello and welcome to We All Belong, Voices of Lived Experiences. My name is Carol Merton. Our participants are sharing their stories to increase understanding and awareness about the challenges of everyday living and survival. Some are unhoused and some are at risk of losing the roof over their heads. I thank the support agencies and the services who work hard every day to meet people's needs and who have helped in the development of this program. Today we're taping here at Safe and Sound, and from time to time you may hear some background noise because participants, this is their spot and they come in and out of Safe and Sound. So we continue the interview, but if you happen to hear some background noise, that's just what happens here at Safe and Sound. And I want to especially thank and welcome Blyth to the interview today.
Right.
Thank you for the time that you're spending with me to go through some questions and to talk about your experiences.
Okay.
So, I got to get all lined up here. How long have you lived in Owen Sound?
I've been living in Owen Sound for the last 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
So Owen Sound is new to you then?
Kind of.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. And why did you come to Owen Sound?
I left my reservation, like
Yep.
just
Yep.
get somewhere new.
Right. So Owen Sound was a different place to
Yeah.
go to. Right. Do you consider yourself homeless?
Well, I float around, but yeah.
Yeah. So you float around from place to place,
Yeah.
but there's not a place that has a roof over your head
Permanently?
consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you would consider yourself homeless. That's all. You know, I always have a problem asking that question. It just it seems like a hard question to ask someone. So thank you for sharing. How did you come to be homeless? Because you obviously wouldn't choose not to have a roof over your head, right?
More like my lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah. How you live day to day?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So things have led to the fact that you've become homeless. Is there a part of town where you spend most of your time?
Around 7th Ave.
And what is it about 7th Ave that draws you?
East is where a couple of my friends are.
Okay.
I help out a couple of the older people there.
Yes. Yeah.
And they help me out, you know.
Yeah. And that's helpful to know. Some people say they like being downtown. Some people say they want to be away from people. So that's why it's always helpful to know what draws people. So you help some friends, and your friends are in 7th Ave. What's the most difficult thing that you're finding about being here in Owen Sound?
Like finding work, gainful employment,
Yep.
and
Yep.
if you don't have a job, it's kind of hard to, stay out of trouble.
Yeah. You having employment would help for sure.
Yeah.
Are there certain things that you enjoy doing? Like if you had your choice of any job, would there be do you enjoy things like cooking, construction?
I've done a little bit of everything.
So you have many talents you could have. Yep. So I want to chat to you about your well-being and your health.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it's like when you're without a roof all the time over your head, taking care of your health?
I find myself actually helping a lot of other people.
Right. And does that help you as far as?
It makes me feel better.
Yes.
I find I tend to run into other people from my reserve or another reserve, and I usually help them.
Okay.
Help them find places. There's Wikwidon, and it's a Native Friendship Center, and they don't know about that. You can get help for that. Natives can get help. like a housing list, like even ride back to the res if they're stuck out here and they can't get home.
Yeah. So in other words, even though you've just been here for 3 years in Owen Sound,
Yeah.
you actually have already learned a lot about the resources that you're able to reach out and help other people.
Yeah.
And that's helping your community, right? Which makes you feel good. So that's
Yeah.
important for health. We all want to feel good
Yeah.
and help other people. What about your physical health? Like meals and
Well, I'm rather in good shape. Like I said, like I help like my friend, older friend Lil, and like all like I was raised with my grandma, so like I like helping older people out. They're pretty grateful, so they
Yeah.
help me, feed me, and you know.
well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so you're comfortable helping older people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how you were raised. Yeah, and then they're able to keep you fed because
Yeah.
being able to have food is critical for good
Yeah.
health, for sure. So, for you, each day, what would be the most important things?
It's just no, trying to just keep looking up, you know, like just keep looking forward.
Yeah, staying hopeful.
Yeah, like try not to dwell on the past, you know.
Yeah, because that drags you down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard. Yeah. So, when it is cold in the winter or warm in the summer, so if we have a heat wave or a blizzard, where do you go for shelter or safety?
There's a few places I go. Like I said, I have a few friends all over. But if it comes down to it, I have relatives out here. I really don't bother them too much unless I really need help. Like,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I go stay with them and like.
Yeah. So you pick and choose
Yeah.
based on.
Like,
Now-
like I said, my lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what works for you, right? You know yourself what works for you. Have you ever had to stay overnight without a roof?
A couple times.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just me. I was with other people, like another person. Like
Okay. All right.
I can go these places, but I can't like bring others with me. Suppose so. Like, and I don't want to just leave them. So like, I'll stay with them. Like, you know.
So when there's others
Like,
and you left, you would know they would not have anybody to be with.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, interesting. That's part of your taking care of people.
Yeah.
You mentioned taking care of others, but that's also taking care of people, which sounds like that's in your nature to want to take care of people. Yeah. So if you have to stay with others, without a shelter, how do you find a place? Where do you look? Do you look for an app?
Well, like I have a lot of, I've had a
I
lot
don't
of,
want you to tell me your secret places.
I've had a
though.
lot of survival training, and like growing up in my res, I went to survival camp every summer, so like I actually know how to like build shelters and stuff just out of like a knife,
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
I show them how like to make this.
Wow. So your survival training that you took, I'm sure you never anticipated you would need it for a house.
Yeah.
But you're able to use that to find a safe space
Yeah.
and to create a shelter of some sort,
Yeah,
even with just a knife.
yeah.
Wow.
And help
That-
people.
Yeah, that's a talent. Not everyone could survive. They just throw their hands up in the
Yeah.
air and say, what do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever stayed overnight in a shelter or the short stay motel program that's on?
I've done the motel program, but then like I've only done it once. Like
Yeah. And did that work for you or not?
it was alright, but it's not so.
It's not really
Not really my thing.
Doesn't fit.
Yeah.
you. No. When you see friends and you're out and about, are there some people that you find always want to stay outdoors, or without people would choose to be?
Outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met a couple people like that. Like, they'd rather be out. And like, I like outside. Like, I like the outdoors, but like,
Yeah. But they choose.
they choose to be out there. They got their little. They know how to do it like I do, but like
Yeah.
farther away. Like.
Yeah. And do they say why they would like to be more out?
Like, well, there's a lot of paranoia. A lot of people are paranoid. I don't know why. Like, I tend to find like paranoia to be like kind of like a sickness. You know, you foster it, it gets worse. Like, you know,
So they might be paranoid about people hurting them?
people
Or?
like just yeah, pretty much like finding their things or just paranoid about like people in general. Like,
Yeah.
they're worried about their safety, even though they might not even have anybody looking for them.
Yeah.
Or they have undiagnosed mental health issues. Like,
And certainly you would have seen people
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that's interesting. The issue of mental health has come up in conversations, and sometimes I think we underestimate the impact on that on people. And you mentioned sometimes it just seems to get worse.
yeah.
Yeah, then that's a concern for sure. So, would that stop people from seeking help, or if
It's more you have to go with them and help them. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that it's easier for them to go with somebody. Like, you know, you're allowed to have, with these programs, you're allowed to have somebody with you. Like, you don't have to go do it by yourself. You can always
Yeah.
have somebody with you. Like,
yeah,
so
and that
like,
would help if there's a
Yeah,
trusting,
yeah.
right?
they're not there by themselves or alone. They could, you know.
And that would be hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned if you had one favorite place where you'd like to hang out with your friends, other than 7th Ave, is there any other place that you would like? Or is that your favorite?
Like the library.
Yeah.
Like the gazebo at the library, I stop by there. Like, I see a couple of my friends there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see
So
how
you
they're
end
doing.
up moving from
Yeah.
spot to spot, but
Usually-
you've got the spots.
Usually just make like pretty much like a circuit.
Yeah. And mainly downtown?
Yeah, I go like down here and then back up around, and finally make my way back over to 7th Ave.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have a route and
Yeah.
places where you connect with people.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. How do you keep in touch with your home, community, or family if you don't live close to them?
With my grandma. She has no daughters, and like, I usually, if I want to, I'll tell them anytime they'll come. She'll bring them out, and I get to see my kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Now, was this the grandma that raised you?
yes.
Yeah. So you're close.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're still connected. Yeah. Which is important. Yeah. For that connectedness.
Well, yeah. I was married for like 10 years, and I had like I took care of my family and my house, and then I pretty much had a divorce, and it all fell apart, and like I couldn't handle it anymore, and
Yeah.
I gave my kids to my grandmother. I still have custody of them, and made sure they're all right, and I just disappeared. Like,
Yeah.
literally for like a year, nobody knew where I was. Like,
Really?
yeah, they had to do wellness checks to come
Yeah.
find where I was. They thought like I passed away, but
Yeah. Yeah. And for you, you needed that time out.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you gradually started to re-engage again.
Like,
Yeah.
pretty soon, like, eventually I'm probably gonna go home soon. Like, I'm
Yeah.
starting to miss my kids, and like they're getting older now. Like so.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's an important thing to give you a reason, right, to go back home, for sure. Do you think that being homeless is different for men than for women?
Definitely, it's I think it's easier. Men feel more safer, like than women, as women are more vulnerable in a sense. Like you know, like I don't like leaving girls like by themselves,
Right.
especially at night or like sleeping. Like
Yeah.
I don't, I got like 7 sisters, so like I don't really like. I don't
You
like
wouldn't
leaving.
want them to
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Yeah. So you see the difference in that women are more vulnerable. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like it's not like that. There's some women are like more equipped and live this life than we are. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like-
but generally you would
Yeah.
see a difference between the two. What do you think that the rest of the community does not understand about being homeless?
when they find people like just sleeping, and then they just shoo them away, or like they're not very not everybody's so like welcoming and nice about it. Some of them are all like, you know, nice. They wake him up, like, you know, it's time to go. Other ones, they swear at you and threaten to call the cops, and like they're just all around angry.
Yeah.
Like,
So there's not the kindness.
no.
But if people are sleeping,
But it's not. I wouldn't blame them. Like I'd say, like somebody probably ruined it. Like somebody probably was there and made a mess or stole something, so they probably had a bad experience. So
yeah.
I don't blame them. But like, it's not everybody's like that. You know?
Yeah, yeah, but certainly I would think there's a way to approach anyone, even if they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yelling is not
No,
necessarily
it's
the
not. No, it's not.
No. What would make your life better today?
I don't know. Like, more services. I guess like.
So having more services available to you would make your life better?
Yeah, like.
Yeah. How do you get around transportation-wise? Do you walk?
I walk.
Yeah.
I like walking. Doesn't bother
Good thing
me.
you said your health is good then, so
Yeah.
you're able to walk around.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
I'd wish my kids would get happy. Like that I was ready to go home,
Yeah,
and then everybody was okay while I was gone.
that's three good wishes.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for being on the program. I can't believe how quickly this time has gone with our conversation. Thank you for joining us for We All Belong, Voices of Lived Experience. Please join us again to hear more Voices of Lived Experiences here on Rogers TV. Take care. Thank you.
Hello, Grey County. I'm your warden, Brian Milne. Want to be the first to know about news, services, and decisions in your community? Watch Grey County Council meetings live from the comfort of your living room, right here on Rogers TV, Grey County.
My name is Carol Merton. Our participants are sharing their stories to increase understanding and awareness about the challenges of everyday living and survival. Some are unhoused, and some are at risk of not having a roof over their heads. I thank those support agencies and services who work hard every day to meet people's needs and who have helped in the development of this program. Today we're taping live at Safe and Sound. From time to time you may hear some background noise, and it's because people are actually in and out of Safe and Sound. That's what Safe and Sound is all about. And they're in the other room. We're taping here in the laundry room. You may see some clothing behind us, but I am delighted to welcome Scott to the program. And Scott and I will just continue chatting away, even if there is background noise behind us. Scott, thank you for being here today.
Okay, I'm Scott Hollick.
Thank you, Scott. Now, we have some questions to go through.
Okay,
How long have you lived in Owen Sound?
1984.
Okay, so a while. You've been here a while. Yep. And what brought you to the city, and why do you stay?
I think because people from Regional Center brought me here.
Okay, so you were brought here.
I was at Midwestern for about 5 years.
Okay. At any time during the time since you came to Owen Sound, have you been homeless?
No, I was never homeless.
And so you've been able to stay in a place
Yep.
and be able to use some of the services that have happened and are available to you. So what sorts of services do you use here in Owen Sound to help you?
I have a worker in community living.
Okay, so your community living helps to assist you.
Yep.
And when you say worker, what sorts of things would they help you with?
I don't see the worker not every week all the time, off and on.
Right,
Like
right.
grocery shopping and some other things
Yeah,
we talk about. It's kind of private and what goes on.
yeah. So you have someone to talk to.
And also you have to be professional and how you talk to people.
Yep, yep. That's really important.
Yep.
Yep. So in town, how do you get around?
I go to Safe and Sound, drop in, do my laundry,
Yeah.
and I go to the library,
Yeah.
go to the YMCA, go for walks, go to the mall,
Yep,
go to the community center, Bayshore Community Center, and go by the water,
yep,
and go see movies.
yep. So you're out and about mostly in the downtown area, would you say?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then also, I be going to hotels out of town about once or twice a year about the past 20 years.
Yep, yep.
Yep.
So the services here in Safe and Sound, for example, what you would come in, would you get food here? Would you grab a coffee? What would you do?
I have times I drop over, walk out, and at times stay over, talks in here.
Yeah.
One thing about homeless, some people don't like to be homeless. I think we should find good ideas for homeless, like the ones they had screwed up by the landlord. If they want to live in a place, they have to keep care of the rent and make a deal with the landlord. And you told me you're on disability here or there, and you have to look after and keep the peace and go on that way.
Yeah.
And also maybe the other people can't keep a place because they screw their money up, spend too much money on drugs in here. So one thing, if the homeless don't want to be homeless anymore and things screwed up, I think they should have a person can look after their disability money or any money. They can look after money for the rent for them. They don't touch that.
Yeah.
They don't think they'll get some money out of it, and that's your money. The rent, somebody look after you, and that way you don't screw it up.
Yeah. So that it would help to have someone who did that.
You can put that down if you want.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
means if the people need care, they can look after your money for you.
Yeah.
Somebody can look after your money for the rent,
Yep.
and that's number one.
Yep.
And then you can keep it place.
Yep.
And then and number two, someone have to look after your hydro bill for you. That'll be number two.
Yep. Yep.
If the hydro bill isn't part of the rent, that's different. Now the hydro bill's separate.
Yeah.
Someone have to look after your hydro bill. And now the other bills like
Yep.
like cable bill or groceries are here, you're on your own.
Yeah. I want to ask you about your health, Scott, if you don't mind. How do you take care of your health?
I have a doctor.
Okay.
Do you know Dr. Tweedy?
So that's how you get your care.
What happened? I had Dr. White from '84 till '96, and when I went up top the hill on the west side, I had this doctor from '96 till '97, and I had Dr. Tweedy is my main doctor from 1997 till now. So Dr. Tweedy is not going to be a full-time doctor any much longer.
So you've got someone to care for you.
Yeah, there'll be.
Yeah.
You heard about it, he's not going to be a full-time doctor anymore.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit more about, now I know that you've got your health, you've got someone taking care of you because you have a doctor. I wanted to ask you about, you travel all over to different places. You walk, or do you take the bus at all?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And where do you go to be with people, like friends or family or whatever?
somebody looks after me. I get some other money from somewhere else. It's kind of private.
And so they help you, and you
And then
you have friends.
that's my worker.
Yeah. Now, do you think that being homeless is different for men than women, from what you've observed?
Some people like to be homeless on purpose, and that's not a right thing to do, and they get into trouble. Some that don't want to be homeless, and that happens.
Yeah. And do you think it's different when let's say a man has no roof over their head versus a woman has no roof over their head? Do you think there's any difference there?
Right. That could be between life or death.
Yeah. It's serious. Very serious. What do you think? You mentioned about the money part and having the money, but what do you think the community needs to understand about people who are homeless?
I think the community should do is maybe build a place for them one way, like cement and brick one way from scratch, and build some places just like plastic and steel in here, moves them around just like a trailer.
Yeah.
Moves around, and also built another thing on the ground just like a trailer, like cement and steel in here. And then we should start making places. There are some places you can build for homeless, built one way, and some other places you can't because they don't have the money for it. So we should have money maybe towards like stuff like wood and cement and steel.
Yeah,
and
to help
stuff,
them.
and not cement too much.
Yeah.
In some ways cement, in some ways you don't. And
So you raise a really interesting point. You talked about having trailers or mobile homes that could go to different places. And that's really good.
what's mobile? What's that mean?
Movable. You
It's-
mentioned
it's-
a trailer.
Like it's not a hotel.
No.
Like
No, not a motel. No.
What's motel? Well, what's mobile means?
Mobile means when you said it could go from place to place.
Like it's like it moves like a trailer. It stays there. I bought the ones they don't move around and it stays there.
Yeah.
And then that means just like
Yep.
like plastic and steel in here. And then as long as you get your warm in here there.
Yeah. And that's important. I want to ask you about 3 wishes. So what do you think 3 wishes might be for people who are homeless? What do you, or for you, when you see people who are homeless, what would you wish for them? 3 wishes.
If you don't want to be homeless, that means look after money and make a deal with the rent.
Yeah.
And if the 100 bills included, more money for rent, or if there's 100 bills not included,
Yeah.
you keep the rent down and don't go up. And
Yeah.
you have, and that means when I pay my rent, I have my 100 bill. The landlord,
works.
that means the 100 bill gives me a deal. 100 bill gives me a deal because I'm on disability.
Scott, I hate to interrupt, but our time is up. I've just gotten the message from the producer. So I want to thank you so much for being on the program, and I want to thank our viewing audience for joining us.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Tuesdays on City TV.
We find missing people who have slipped through the cracks, and we bring them home.
We need to talk about how you figured out this location before us cops.
We all have our secrets. You kidnapped a child.
And you kidnapped a man.
I tell you what to help with, and you help with it. You can't manipulate me.
But I did. I'm your partner.
No partners. You're a monster.
Found. All new. Tuesdays, 10/9 Central on City TV or stream it on City TV Plus.
Blessed be the name